Welcome and thanks so much for joining us here on the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Deb Gillard, your host of the program, and today is Monday. I had to think about this. April 9th. What month are we in and when did we get here? But I knew it was the day after Easter, and I'm hoping that all of you had a very, very pleasant Easter weekend. And as we enter into our next week here, we thank you for joining us, whether you're with us on Charter Cable TV in the Owatonna area, or whether you have found us in our many ways that you can find us out on the internet. We are available now in so many ways for you to watch us. Whether you don't get cable TV or you know someone who doesn't, they can find us out on the internet, or you would like to catch a program again that you missed or something that you would like to check into. We will have programs out there. You can find us on Facebook. You can like us when you're there, and then you'll know when our new programs are uploaded. And as always, we are out there on blip.tv, but I think you get there, and I think YouTube as well. So a lot of opportunities for you to head out to the internet and catch our Owatonna Today Show programs as well. And of course, we welcome information coming from you. Guest ideas, show topics, please take note of our email address and our cell phone numbers on the screen throughout the course of the program. And we like information coming from you as well. We have a very good program for you today. We're going to be talking about getting on the move. For the first part of our program, we have representatives here from the Mayo Clinic Health System Owatonna, our show supporter, and also the Owatonna Hospital. A little bit later on in the program, then we went out on location to visit with a guest speaker that was at a recent luncheon for the Crisis Resource Center. Very interesting individual, and we think you'll appreciate what he has to say as well. So we'll take this first break for our supporters. We'll be right back to go on the move. Please stay with us.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Greetings from the site of your History Center. As you can see, construction is almost completed and we expect to begin moving in during January. We still need your help to raise the funds needed to burn the mortgage and reimburse our investors. We hope you'll consider a donation towards this new chapter in Steele County history today.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us here on the Owatonna Today Show. It is April 9th. I have the date right now in the month, and we welcome in studio Stephanie Olson. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
And Stephanie, again, your title with Mayo Clinic Health System Owatonna is lengthy.
Marketing Communications Manager.
Oh,
Very simple.
not that bad. Okay.
No.
See, I always get all these titles of people that go on, so that's why I make you say it. And Molly Pirjevec from the Owatonna Hospital, and you are
Manager of Community Engagement and Development.
See, she's got one of those that's a little bit harder.
Manager
of Community Manager. Anyway, we welcome the both of you, and you're kind of teaming up this year,
Again.
second time, to go on the move. And this is the program that gets people active and excited about being active and thinking about being active here in the community, right?
Yes.
Okay, and this started, it's got a long history, right, Stephanie?
Yeah, it does. This is our 9th year. And we're going on the move again. This year we're going to travel all 7 continents.
We are excited to hear how that's going to happen.
And then we're going to end up in London.
Okay.
The 2012 Olympics will
Okay.
be held in London. Molly will tell us a little bit more about where we're going throughout the 5-week program.
Well, the goal of it, the ultimate goal of it, and I think we can maybe figure it out from previous years, but, you know, on the move, we want to be on the move. And the philosophy behind it is what?
We want to get people engaged and get healthy and do exercise and, again, learn about nutrition along the way.
Okay.
Physical activity is extremely important in your everyday life and really get people walking. And also, any physical activity can be transferred into steps.
Okay.
There's a conversion chart as every year, so you definitely can figure out your steps if you're swimming, playing baseball, bowling. We know Bowl for Kids' Sake is coming up.
It is.
Track those steps at that event. So any physical activity, we want to get you out and moving.
Okay. And this is a really good opportunity. I have heard that even like house cleaning can get transferred into steps. I mean, if you're doing not you know, a little bit of dusting here and there, but if you're getting into it and doing your house cleaning, I've heard that that can actually get converted into steps. So I think it's important for all of us to note that there are many things that we do and or can do as part of our daily life that really can have us up and active and doing things. And it's not always your traditional exercise either, but
Correct.
of course in many cases it is. So it kicks off when, Stephanie?
April 17th.
Okay. And we were just talking about that being tax day, and then we had a whole conversation about that
Yes,
because why is it not the 15th? And if the 15th is on Sunday, why is it not the 16th? And we decided what, Molly?
Washington, D.C. has a holiday, and because the federal government is based there, it's Tuesday the 17th.
Okay, and it's Emancipation Day or something like
something
that.
like that.
I don't know, it's so far removed from us here in the Midwest, but we're not sure. But everybody has an extra day to do your taxes. How about that for exciting
Or
and
two.
fun? Or two, yes, exactly. So April 17th, and how does it kick off?
We're going to kick off at Mineral Springs Park,
Okay.
and the mayor will do his proclamation again, and the partnership is with the Park and Rec of Owatonna, also Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee is playing a big part this year. We're excited because they're bringing the nutritional value in.
Okay.
They're going to do some food demonstrations on a weekly basis. And Youth One, the hospital, and also Winger, local partners, Winger, Go for Sport.
Go for sport, yeah.
So we'll all be there kicking off on April 17th at 6 o'clock.
And
Mineral
that'll be
Springs.
at Mineral Springs. Okay, then let's talk about how the program kind of unfolds. And I know Molly brought some very interesting statistics, if you will. And then we want to talk about the countries and the food. How does that all play into it? It's a great partnership, I think, between exercise and nutrition and awareness. So how does that all work out?
Well, we wanted to have a focus where we have steps to go, distance to go to make it. And last year we found out the first week our goal was not as ambitious as it could have been because we
The people were
achieved
more
it.
ambitious than your goal.
I think in the spring of the year, people naturally want to get out and move, and we have a great trail system here, so why not? So the focus this year is getting to London. Now, we're not going to London the easy way. We're going kind of around the world in a very cumbersome way. We're going from Owatonna.
Doesn't matter, it's kind of pretend anyway.
It is
isn't it?
pretend anyway. Owatonna to New York, which is about 1,100 miles. New York to Brazil.
Okay.
Then Brazil to the South Pole. Bring your jackets. It might be a little chilly.
Oh, okay.
And then the South Pole to Egypt. Why Egypt? I think the food was interesting.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the food would be interesting. Yes.
And then Egypt to Sydney. We'll probably have to
Okay.
get the Barbie out.
Okay.
And Sydney to Beijing because, the food in Beijing is awesome.
Okay.
And then Beijing to London, which is over 5,000 miles. So I think when my 10-year-old converted it to steps, it looks like bazillions. So I'm going to have to double check for math.
Was that her word or your word?
It was hers.
Okay.
Mom, it's a lot of steps
It's
in
a
a mile.
bazillion,
It's a
at
bazillion,
least.
many bazillion. So we'll be posting that so you know exactly how much of a distance that the different places are. But they're all pretty much significant except for Owatonna to New York, which we'll get done in a day.
I'm sure. Now we had, and we get buy-in from so many entities in the community, and I think you were saying the city
Yes.
started last year and were one of those that helped you reach your goal like right away.
Yeah.
1 week.
And then I'm sure they're actively involved again.
Yes.
And I say that with no pun intended, but actively
They
involved.
are.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so what happens then is we're going to be taking this trek, and it is an interesting kind of hop across the globe, isn't it? But as we reach those goals collectively, so we're reporting our steps, how does that go?
You'll report your steps on a weekly basis every Monday morning, as we have done years gone by. You can email your steps to onthemove@mayo.edu, or we have a direct line again that you can call on your steps. And listen to KOWZ and CARIFO and watch the newspaper for all the details. On the 17th, we'll have material at the event, Mineral Springs Park, to pick it up, your step tracker. And remember, this is team also. A lot of organizations will compete against, our organization. You have patient services going against nursing, administration, we're up against the doctors or health information system. It's truly our staff. Last year we had over 80% of our staff participate on the move. So we have a personal goal internally. And you'll see people on the inside walking trail at the hospital.
Yes.
And we're not able to use the outside walking trail because we're under construction. But later in the spring, we will be completing that, and it'll include the back of Coda Living, so it'll be an expanded walking program.
Of course.
We
with all
like
the
to encourage
construction
people to
going on.
use our indoor walking path. If you stop at the information desk, they can show you the floor plan. 10 circular times around, it's a mile.
Okay.
So
We're very lucky to have that
Yes, we
too.
are.
Now we were blessed with a very mild winter and of course a very early spring, and I think people are out and walking and doing even prior to this, so we're going to be well in the swing and in good shape when we even start this program. But the reminder for people that is there for the very hot days in the summer, perhaps when it's really too much to be outside too, and of course throughout our winter season.
And we encourage people to come out and walk. The doors open at, I think it's 6 a.m. and they close at 8.
All right.
We did plan the walking path just to give people another option to be active and fit. And we have, every morning when I come in, I see several couples. They stop at the Pink Pantry to get their coffee on the way out.
Of course.
Yes.
You got to have a little bonus when you're done. So and that's kind of where Hy-Vee gets into this too. We're reporting our miles, we're making it to these countries collectively, and then Hy-Vee is going to be doing what? How do they actually work into it?
They're going to be doing cooking demonstrations featuring the different continents we're going to.
Okay.
They'll also be able to provide you with recipes and a shopping list, which is going to be fun.
Okay.
So you can take it home and prepare the same meal yourself.
Okay, and here again, we'll watch for those weekly.
Correct.
You'll know what's being featured at Hy-Vee, what they're demoing, and what you can get recipes for the various kinds. I'm curious to know what it's going to be for the South Pole. Nothing springs to mind.
It's the frappe. It's the frozen flurry.
Well, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah,
I was thinking you had to get a little
Frosty,
creative.
something like
I was
that.
wondering what in the world we were bringing from the South Pole, but the rest of them I can figure out. So
I think there's hummus in Egypt, is what I remember.
I'm
Yes.
sure. I'm
And
sure.
Hy-Vee will also have end displays with the food.
Oh yeah, and
featuring
the
the
tail,
food.
at the end of each row
Okay.
at Hy-Vee, there'll be basically demonstrations and just an outlet of what the country looks like.
Okay, and kind of keeping people on the move and educated about what's going on in other parts of the globe as well. So it actually finishes up then when? When does it culminate?
May 21st at the All-City Track Meet.
Perfect.
We did that about 4 years ago, and it's really engaging. And you want to go out there? We may have a few awards to give away,
Okay.
and that's a surprise.
Okay. So show up at Mineral Springs Park. Get it started on April 17th. What if somebody has to miss that date and time? How else can they continue to get involved?
They're welcome to go to On the Move. We'll be having a Facebook page. Watch
Okay.
for that. And also just come out to the clinic. We'll have brochures and the whole package ready to go.
Okay, pedometers are available and information about how you report in and all those types of
Correct.
things. So it begins not too far from now. We've got a couple of weeks. No, one. Next
One.
week on Tuesday is when we're starting. See, I'm really off on my calendar here. I'm really struggling this
Tax
morning.
day, Deb.
Yes, April 17th, Mineral Springs Park. What time again?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay, so get it started there and get on the move. It sounds like it's going to be a great program when we encourage any and all in our viewing and listening area. And even if you're out of the area, you could still take part and feel like you're participating in the Owatonna and Steele County area on the move. So thank you. Mayo
you.
Clinic Health System Owatonna, Stephanie Olson here for our show supporter, and Molly Pirjevec from the hospital. It's going to be a great program, I can tell. So thank you very much for letting us know about it.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great day. We'll take a break for our supporters, and then we'll head out on location to talk with Victor Vieth.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Rick Smith, Golf Course Superintendent of the Brooktree Golf Course. Brooktree is an 18-hole championship golf course featuring well-manicured greens, tees, and fairways. We are open to the public. I challenge you to find a better maintained golf course for the money we charge here at Brooktree. Come on out and play Brooktree, a great golf course.
Mayo Clinic Health System in Owatonna, in partnership with Hy-Vee, Owatonna Hospital, Owatonna Park and Rec, Youth First, and local businesses encourage you to join the 2012 On the Move Community Walking Program. The program will kick off on April 17th at 6 o'clock at Mineral Springs Park and runs through May 21st. Our goal is to walk around the globe with the final destination of London, England, the home of the 2012 Olympics. The program is simple. Simply call in your steps on Monday mornings at On the Move at mayo.edu. Track your steps throughout the weeks, and we'll look forward to seeing you on May 21st at the celebration. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Swain of Amy Swain Hearing Centers. I know that buying a hearing aid can be confusing and difficult. My job is to make that easier for you. With 18 years of experience with many different brands of hearing instruments, I can help you make the best choice. Remember, when purchasing a hearing aid, you are entitled to a trial period, and during that trial period, if you are not satisfied, then you can try a different brand or style. At Amy Swain Hearing Centers of Owatonna, Austin, and Waseca, we believe you deserve to hear better.
Aloha!
Come join in the fun at the 26th Annual Night of Nights Benefit Auction, Saturday, April 21st at St. Mary's School in Owatonna.
Doors open at 4 p.m. Admission is only $5. New and exciting items available to bid on at the silent and live auctions.
And get your cash and car raffle ticket today for a chance to win $15,000 or a brand new 2012 Chrysler 200 LX.
Great food and cash bar available. You don't want to miss this great community event.
Mahalo!
Thank you for joining us, our Owatonna Today Show viewers. We are out on location at the Crisis Resource Center's luncheon, Healing the Hearts of Our Children, on April 4th. And we wanted to pay a visit here because we had heard, of course, as you heard our representatives from the Resource Center on recently, talking about a very impactful speaker that they were going to have here. We had the opportunity to come and meet him, and we'd like to introduce you to him now and find out a little bit more about what he spoke about. And we'd like to welcome Victor Vieth. Hello, Victor. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. You were invited to be a speaker here, and I know 10 minutes is not going to do justice to the message that you have, even the message that we were listening to, and I'm sure you could you talk for a long time about a lot of different topics. But in a nutshell, how did your life lead you here?
Oh, 25 years ago, I was a young prosecutor in southwestern Minnesota, and a few weeks into the job, I had a termination of parental rights case, and it was very impactful. I remember a social worker in that trial talking about how he'd gone into the house and there was a baby that had insects and maggots on the body. And I remember going home talking to my wife saying, I think I know what I want to do with my life. I want to be a child protection attorney. So I was on the front lines for about 10 years. We did some novel things, got national attention, and then I was hired by the National District Attorneys Association, ended up directing their child abuse programs, and then through that we created the National Child Protection Training Center at Winona State University.
And that is amazing. I don't know if many of our viewers here in this area would be aware that there is such a facility as close as Winona.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the formation of the training center.
Yeah, the training center is funded by the United States Department of Justice, and it does three things. First of all, we know for 30 years of research that all of us who've handled these cases on the front lines, whether we're prosecutors or judges or criminal justice professionals or social work professors or doctors or nurses or mental health professionals, that we're inadequately trained at the undergraduate and graduate level. There's very little coursework on any aspect of child maltreatment. So we wanted to correct that. So we developed an interdisciplinary minor called Child Advocacy Studies. So now at Winona State you could major in criminal justice, social work, nursing, psychology, or any other discipline, and you minor in child maltreatment. It's a very intensive, hands-on course, and all of the research is coming very positive. I think you can show with our research that if you graduate with that curriculum, you'll go into your chosen field with the sort of knowledge it took the rest of us 5 years of on-the-job training to acquire.
Amazing.
The second thing we do is we help states develop 5-day courses to teach professionals how to interview young sexually abused children. We got 20-some courses, 2 international courses, and then we provide a massive amount of training, technical assistance, publications for professionals in the field. Folks from Owatonna, for example, have come to our facility for training, and we travel across the country every year training about 20,000 professionals.
That is really amazing. So that we can have our viewers know a little bit more if they were not able to attend this luncheon, or perhaps they're not aware of some of the statistics that accompany child abuse. Can you help us to understand some very general things?
Yeah, everybody who can see me or hear my voice right now, even if they don't know it, they've been impacted by child abuse. 1 out of 5 girls, 1 out of 7 boys are sexually abused by their 18th birthday. Studies all the way back to the 1920s tell us that. We every year have about 2,000 children who die in their own homes from abuse. That's about how many people died on 9/11. That's about how many people die every year from child abuse. Every year we substantiate about 1 million cases. Every year we're spending over $100 billion on healthcare costs, criminal justice costs, all dealing with the aftermath of child abuse. And we know from a series of studies in California that if you have 1 or more adverse childhood experience, that is, you were physically abused, sexually abused, neglected, you witnessed violence between your parents, you're much more likely to suffer from hundreds of medical or mental health conditions. Even things like smoking and obesity have a correlation with child maltreatment. So we're all impacted by child abuse directly or indirectly.
Certainly.
And we all have a responsibility to do something.
I heard you speaking about, and you just alluded to it right now, really getting at this problem when children are young.
Yes.
What happens if you don't?
If you don't address it when it's happening, say in infancy, if that's when it begins, what happens is the child's brain develops differently, literally actually maybe smaller than the brain of others that have not been abused. They become hardwired for poorer outcomes later on in life. They're much more likely, as I said, to suffer from a wide variety of medical and mental health conditions. They're going to have a tougher time keeping a job. A whole array of bad things happen if we delay our response. So we need to get to kids as soon as we can.
Some of the things that you talked about today are obstacles in dealing with child abuse. And here again, you were talking about maybe that young child who we've not been, prior to training such as you're offering, perhaps adequately prepared, or those on the front lines have not been adequately prepared. How do we interview that child? How do we make this information work? How can it stick? How can we get the result that we want? And so some of the training, really a lot of it sounds like, really addresses that issue.
Yeah, and it begins even before the report comes in. The first challenge is to get the report come in. 20 years of research say that almost everybody who's watching now, although they may have good intentions, when they actually see child abuse, even if it's unequivocal, they're not going to do anything. Think of the Penn State case where, according to the grand jury, there were 19 adults who had knowledge of child sexual abuse, 3 of them who actually walked in on Mr. Sandusky allegedly sexually abusing a child. None of those made a report to the authorities. That is the norm. Most of us, most of the time, don't want to get involved. So I think we have to begin with our own heart. So what is it in our own heart where we wouldn't intervene on behalf of a child? That's the first point. But then, as you say, once we get those reports in, we have to do a better job. We have to know how to interview those children. We have to know how to collect evidence. We have to know how to present the evidence in courts of law. We have to know how to rehabilitate the family, how to get proper services to the maltreated boy or girl. All those things and more we need to do.
Okay. Some of the ways then that you would prepare people for this are really very hands-on and very practical. You actually, at the training center in Winona, have a house set up so that someone can literally go into a situation such as they might encounter, and courtrooms.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing, the facility seems.
Yeah, well, you know, when we testified before the Minnesota legislature and there were legislators saying, why would we fund something like this, I said, you didn't have a problem funding, say, a science laboratory at Winona State, because you'd never graduate scientists who didn't have a lab experience. Well, for the entire history of the country, we've graduated police officers and social workers and doctors and psychologists and nurses who have not had a true lab experience on child maltreatment. So we duplicate in an artificial way the real world. And the beauty of the house and the setting is that there, if you err, nobody's going to die. There, if you err, nobody's going to continue to be beaten or burned or bound or bludgeoned or raped or, in some cases, murdered. So it's good to get your errors out of your system, so to speak, in a laboratory environment as opposed to in the real world when you're dealing with real children.
With instructors and trainers to help you say, this was not the proper way to do it, or how could we have done this differently to really correct those before you're out in the real world. When we're talking about those on the front line, and I think you've mentioned this, we are talking about many of those individuals that come in very close contact with our children for a first time, or have a real significant role in their lives, and they would be teachers and medical professionals and
theologians. It's good we had some faith leaders here, because a number of studies say that 93% of sex offenders like to go to church. Many of them are active in their church, and the sex offenders themselves say to researchers, it's the perfect place to go if you want to have access to children. They really think of theologians and others in the faith community as gullible. So it's one of the reasons we developed a seminary curricula to better teach tomorrow's pastors and priests and rabbis about these issues and how to respond more sensitively if a child is maltreated in their faith setting.
Are we seeing, with training such as this now going out into the field, that the likes of which there hasn't been before, are you seeing reduction in child abuse?
Yes, most national studies say child abuse, as great as it is declining over the past quarter of a century. And most say that's because the frontline professionals are doing a much better job, and because community awareness through programs like today is much greater. I mean, 25 years ago we wouldn't talk about this, but today we are talking about it, and we're talking about it in pretty explicit ways.
So bringing it out in the open,
Yes.
getting these training facilities. If you can, as we wrap up in our final minute, goals for the training center and for yourself, Victor.
Well, the goal of the center literally is to end child abuse within 3 generations. We've got a peer-reviewed, published plan. Everything we do is consistent with that. And as part of that, I encourage all of your listeners to go to our website, ncbtc.org, read the plan, learn what they can do, because each of us can do something, and if all of us does do something, there won't be child abuse in the future.
It's, as I said, a very, very impactful message, and I am sure you affected a lot of people that were here at the luncheon today, and thank you so much for your work and for visiting with us, and the very best of luck and success in the future. Very
Thank you.
pleasant. Very nice to meet you, Victor.
Thank you.
And thank you to our Owatonna Today Show viewers for joining us out on location at the Crisis Resource Center, Healing the Hearts of Our Children luncheon with our speaker, Victor.
Hi, I'm Molly Tichenal, manager and personal trainer at Snap Fitness, your 24-hour fitness solution. Snap Fitness is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm Shawn McNulty with the Sterling House Assisted Living, a part of Brookdale Senior Living. Our mission is to enrich the lives of those we serve with compassion, respect, excellence, and integrity. We are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Jan Hansen, and I am at A+ So and Back, the fun place to be. We are proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
So Tess, tell me again what your plans are for prom night.
Well, first I'm going to go over to Jess's house to get ready, and then we're going to go out to dinner. And then we'll do the grand march and dance, and then go to after prom. Jess's parents will pick us up, and I'll sleep over at her house. I should be home by 11 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay, great. Since you're going to be getting ready over there, you're going to want to make sure that you don't
Mom
forget
would freak
anything
if she
here at
knew
home,
we
so
were
you
really
might
going
even
over
wanna
to
make a
Jess's
list
house
ahead
after
of
the grand
time.
march to party,
All your
since her
hair
parents aren't
stuff,
home.
if you're gonna be
The guys are bringing
prepared,
beer and some really good weed.
all the
We're going to have a
utensils
blast.
for that, and make sure. I think it's really great that Jess's parents are doing this. You know, I haven't talked to her mom yet, so I want to make sure that she's going to be there. I think I'll just give her a quick call, see if she needs any help with anything.
Oh, don't worry about it. I've already talked to Jess, and we've got it all planned out, and I'm sure she's really busy planning everything and making sure she has everything she needs, so I wouldn't worry about it. You don't need to give her a call.
Well, I'm not worried about it, but I want to offer a hand if I can give her a hand, so I'm going to give her a call.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back, and it is time to wrap up on this Monday, April 9th. We have a notice of 2012 Spring Street Sweeping. City of Owatonna announces that it's going to be doing its spring cleanup of city streets, supported by the efforts of you, the property owners, to remove winter sand materials from boulevards. Each winter material used by the street department for sanding streets, although we probably shouldn't have had too much this year given our lack of snow. But still, there is some there. It's deposited on boulevards, and so you can rake and sweep it toward the boulevard. It's generally considered, or into the curbs. Whoops, I wasn't on camera. I was just talking away, and it was probably over there someplace. Sorry about that. That's okay. I'm on, Leanne. Anyway, the boulevard area is generally regarded as the area between the curb and the sidewalk, or within 15 feet of the curb. So rake and brush, and you can get those things off onto the curb. The city street sweeper will be going through, and you can deposit the materials at the street's edge within 72 hours of the scheduled pickup, which actually begins today, April 9th, on the area bordered by Maine on the north, city limits on the south, city limits on the east, and Oak on the west. These continue through the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. So all of this week they'll be doing that. If you have questions about the schedule, or potentially to see a map, which looks like this, I'm guessing maybe the city website might have it on there, or you can call 774-7308 for more information about the street sweeping cleanup. Lecture series at the Historical Center continues this week as well, and don't forget we have Wednesday's program, Owatonna Police Department, and we'll be talking with Beth Svenby, our latest Woman of Achievement. So please join us on Wednesday. We'll see you then. Have a great day.